What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What my people? This is your boy Nick HOUTX Trader on the tubes and the grams. You can also find in the comments below the link to my dot card, and that gives you everything you need to know. The grams, the social media accounts. I have links to Telegram that my boy Stefano runs. That you should also check out. So please go to the dot card, check out those links. If you also in that dot card will be a link to the broker that I use and the link to a good funded company that I've used. And it's really good. So check out all that. And guys, this is only for trading. Training. This is not financial advice. Please stick around. We're going to be live trading. Please like, please share, and hopefully you guys take away just something. If you guys learn one thing from today, what we're going to talk about, please subscribe. I'm trying to build up the YouTube, so that's the way you guys can help me out, and I appreciate that. Okay, so let's see here. What I should name today? I should name today the Great Reset. Okay, now I'm going to type it right here, the Great Reset. Okay, here we go, the Great Reset. Okay, guys, let me show you real quick. This is the Discord. All right. This is my little tab on Andy Peters' thing. I am live. All right, they know how to get there. Let's look real quick at the good old dot card. So when you guys go to the dot card, this is what you'll see. Let it pull up here. Let me just copy this real quick. Copy this link. And then when you guys go to the dot card, this is what you'll see. Okay, you'll see a... okay, sorry about that. Let's go preview. You'll see the YouTube they're on now, my Twitter, my Instagram. Like I said, the funded company, the funding company, the broker, a couple cool Discords, and a good Telegram. Shout out to my boy Stefano on there. Since we're on the internet, we'll look at the news real quick. Actually, I had that open on the other tab. It's all good. We have jobless claims, personal income, core PCE. So we have some stuff coming out, and we have a couple other smaller folders with Chicago PMI and whatnot. I'm not really worried about that. And we do have some Fed guys speaking later on this afternoon. Of course, that doesn't carry as much weight as the chairman of the Fed when he speaks, which moves the market. So in 15 minutes, we got market. We have news dropping. Okay, guys? Let's do, since we have that copied, let's go holler at my apes. So this is the Board Ape Solana Club. This is their Discord, and we have our own little section now. We have our own little trading section there. Let's holler at those guys. Let's go over to the funded company. All right, trading. Let's do it. I am live on YouTube. Let's go there. And let's go into the funded chat here. Hey, look, there's Jordan. Hey, what's up, Jordan? Let's go, Jordan. There's my boy Jordan. And we'll go to Market Bandits real quick and tell them as well. Trading chat. Okay, we're done with that. So there's the Discords that I have in my link, guys, and a couple of those Discords in that dot card. Again, I'm labeling today as the Great Reset. I didn't trade yesterday. The markets have been kind of slow last couple of days. So I wanted to just have a chance to reflect on what's really going on. All right, so now we got that stuff out. We've got 5 people here. It says I have an error. YouTube is, I'm not sure. Let's go. Thanks, Cody Hannes. Thanks, Colton. What up, Wayne? Rose is the only real true digital. Here we go with Cody. Cody's always talking about his NFTs and his crypto. Okay, guys. Again, today, the Great Reset. Let's start. Since we're here on NASDAQ, we'll start on NASDAQ. Let's go to the daily and let's hide everything. We really need to sometimes set back and just really look at what's happening with NASDAQ. I mean, just look at the insanity of the buys, right? You had one, good morning, Chris. We had one sell-off, and we've had these little dips, but just look at the insanity of the buys, okay? And right now is just no different, okay? If you would just hit the buy button, you would just be making money, okay? And we need to realize that. So the only really question is how do we get on buys? You know, the party's not over yet. Party hasn't shown that it's over yet. How do we get on buys? So if we come down into this daily time frame, All right. We can see that we have this kissing candle area here and a very strong bull candle, right? This kissing candle happens to line up with the bottom of this candle, the bottom of these two candles, the tops of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. So I would say, if I didn't know much, that's a pretty strong little zone right there, right? You've got the kissing and you've got all these other candles. So if we unhide all this stuff now, guess what I did? I draw a nice little line right there. We should probably make it a little darker. Let's just make it red. Why is it so ugly looking? Here we go. There we go. Nice bright red. Also drew the little square right there, okay, guys? So before anything else, we have to realize that that would be a great place to buy at that red line, okay? Let's realize that. Let's come into the 4-hour chart. Let's come down and see what we have now. Now, I wanted to also stress to you guys, and I'm not calling Wayne out in particular, but I was thinking of you this morning when I was thinking of this. We don't need to have so much stress on ourselves to find trades, right? Do we have to be trading every day? I know there's another guy in our group, Chris, or no, it's Jason, whatever. Is like, I got to trade every day. But look, I mean, look at this crap. Look at this just absolute turd of whatever this is. So we don't. All right, Cody, thanks a lot, buddy. Look at this. Look at this just absolute BS that we don't need to get caught in. What we need to do is have a good understanding of the bigger picture, right? Of this daily and then the 4-hour, and that's what we need to trade. And we just need to hold tight until we get a good area. So therefore, knowing that we need to buy from this area, or I would like to buy from this area, how do we get there? Okay, so now is when we can start to get, okay, a little more cutesy, get into the charts a little bit deeper, and try to start finding some of these trades. I think it needs to come here, and I'll be looking for buys in that, excuse me, in that area. So this now I start looking at liquidity. This top here and this top, that took out this side liquidity, so that's done. We need for it to come down here and take some liquidity now to set a new high. All right. So again, on the daily chart, that red line was our kissing candle with our zone, and then I zoom into the 4-hour. Sorry for the scrolling back and forth so much, but there's the exact same kissing candle, right? And it's the exact same little area. So now let's do this. So now we pull our fib, which we're probably not going to be taking a trade off of our normal fib zone because it's way down here. I don't anticipate it getting that low with the strength of the market and this zone being here. I think it's going to kind of come here. And if we look, well, guess what? That's right there at our 618, which is the magical fib number. When you look at higher time zones, you tend to find that the 618 holds more often than the 78 and the 886 does. It makes more sense. You have a bigger time frame, a bigger zone. So this, again, is going to be the area down in here where I want to start looking for buys. So let's come down to a little bit smaller of a time frame. And let's see if we can't figure out where some sells are to get down there. Again, I'm not going to over leverage on these sells, and I realize that we're going against momentum, and so I'm not going to feel any particular way if A, I don't get into a trade, or B, if the trade loses. This is not the most highly profitable trades when you're looking for sells in this bull of a market and you're trying to do what we're doing. But there is money to be had. And so as long as we play our percentages correctly, as long as we play our strategy correctly, it should work out. It should be okay. Like it's one of those things. So what I've done now is I've created a fib from this top to the new low. And I also see that there's a fair value gap on a higher time frame. I think it was a 4-hour. Let me come back in here. Yeah, it's a 4-hour time value, 4-hour time frame from the bottom of this candle right there to the top of that candle right there is the fair value gap. Okay, so I want the market to close that fair value gap. Let me draw this out. So the bottom of this candle to the top of that candle is a fair value gap. Well, there's a big gap right there. All right, let's come back down to the 1-hour. So seeing that there's a fair value gap and it's right below my entry spot, kind of gives me confidence that maybe this market needs to come up. Now, There are probably people saying, well, why don't you just buy now and buy up to there and then sell? I mean, it's just, you can do that. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying it's probably not as profitable, probably not as safe. Right now, the RSI is in the middle of no man's land, so we're not looking to do anything right now. But if this market does want to come up here and get into this fib zone and to this fair value gap, well, then, hey, there might be a trade there. So, I like to play the 88.6 when it comes to indices. So if I can get a trade, why is the damn stop loss always so big? If I can get something like this, and then we can take profit one at the double bottom, and then we could run the second profit. I mean, that's a 4-to-1 trade, and we run the real TP2 down to this extension into this little area here. Look at this. I just drew that fib. This happens to me so much. Look at where the 61.8 extension is literally at the very top of the box that I drew. It's kind of crazy how it just happened to be perfectly on that box. Anyways, for this sell, if you also think of the way I like to do my strategies and I like to think, I like to find a fib from, in this case, top to bottom. I like for there to be liquidity. Let me delete this so we know now. I like for there to be liquidity like this, and all these wicks right here. I want to see this stuff get taken out, primarily this wick. These ones have already been taken out. But come in here and fill the fair value gap, take out this wick, and then use this area, these last buy candles, as resistance if we're to sell back off. So the reason why I like to take the trades at the 88.6 is because it's right here in the middle of this little buy area. All right. So if we have something today, that's what we're looking at. And again, we started this by looking at the daily, giving an understanding of what really needs to happen, going to the 4-hour and then coming to a 1-hour and taking a smaller entry with a smaller stop loss, and we're not over leveraging. It's going to be okay. But we have to start from that daily. We have to start from that higher time frame so we know what the hell we're really looking at. And so let's do the same thing on 30. Again, we need to have a strong understanding to look at how crazy this market has just been buying up. So what we want to do, we want to join the party. We want to buy up. Thank you, all 7 people, for joining in. So here we go, guys. So here we go. If you guys like any of this, you guys find anything that's helpful, please like and please subscribe to the channel. Help you build the channel. Okay, so here again is the tops of these candles. And now the market has came down to the bottom of these candles. But we still have, on the daily, a fair value gap from the top of this candle to the bottom of that candle. Now, it's not very big. I realize it's closed most of that gap. But with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, now going on 4 sell-off candles, bear candles, there's really no need for me to get super excited and start pulling buys now. We did that earlier in the week, and we took an L on it. It's okay. The thinking was there. I'm okay with it because earlier in the week, we had this dip, and we had these 3 touches, and we had the oversold on the RSI, and we had a push. I put it in the Discord. That was the time to start deleveraging because it did not go. Excuse me. And that's exactly what I did. I actually reduced some of my position right here, and I did not take the biggest of L's. Now, what's the book say from Tom Hugard? It says the best loser wins. So guess what? I didn't hold that L for the entire thing. I deleveraged, and I put it in the chat. Because, guys, what do we want to see? We want to see a candle that wicks down like this, gets into our zone, and then takes off. When it does this 3 thing, ding, 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 and then it kind of comes up nice and slow, it lets you know that the market is not done. It's not done with liquidity. Get out. We want to be quick. We want to be right fast, or we want to be wrong fast. We don't need to be in the market when it goes sideways. So if you're in a position and you find that the market's dicking around, it's not leaving the area, then you're not in the best trade. It's either good to deleverage or move to break even, and then maybe you can catch it when it runs. So now what happens here? We come down, wick, strong push up, but it really, it kind of broke this internal structure. But for me, this is the real internal structure, is on these 2 highs right here. So this is the internal structure, and it really hasn't broken it. Now it gave us a higher low, okay? And now look, it broke it. So it's kind of just messing around. So for me, it still hasn't broke structure, letting me know it's going to buy up. Okay, so now let's undo the drawings, and here we go. Okay, so we know there's liquidity sitting up top at this double top. We know there's going to be some liquidity sitting here at these wicks, okay, and this area. So we'll just mark it here to be conservative. All right, and now we know for sure that there is going to be liquidity at the same thing at this little guy. These two wicks right here, and we'll just call it at the top of this one, okay? So we know that we have people that are putting sells in, sells in, sells in, all right? Matter of fact, we can get rid of those little things, and we could do what I used to do back in the day, which is cheese. We know there's some cheddar. We know there's some cheese sitting right up in here. All right, guys? So let's just leave those there, and we'll delete these lines. Okay. So now, where are we going to find our buys? Again, I see this zone, right? I like this 23.6 on the extension for the TP. It's not quite all the way down into our buy zone, but that could be the area. Let's look at how we got that. Let's go to the 4 hour, all right? And you labeled it, I labeled it 4 hour support resistance. So what you can do then, guys, this is some extra sauce you don't see me talk about a lot. What you can do then is come into the 4 hour chart. Let me darken this up so we can see this better. It needs to be like this dark. There we go. What I did, guys, what you can do as well is you find a top. Where does that top match up with the bottom? Matches up with bottoms. All right, matches up with this bottom, matches up with this top. It almost hits this top. Okay, so we look for these areas where the market tops and bottoms line up with each other, and we can put that on our chart because that'll give us a good zone. Now remember, this isn't wicks. This is where the candle, in this situation, a 4 hour candle closes. It does not take in consideration wicks. Okay, but so therefore, this is the area where we have this support resistance, and you can see the wicks here go on either side, but the candles are closing along that area. So in my brain, the market needs to come back down to this area because on different time frames, this is going to be a gigantic fair value gap. I mean, look at this bull run. Okay, let's see. We have the bottom of this candle. I mean, let's just go to the daily because perhaps it's on the daily. So here we go. That's the same. We had the top of that candle, and then it took off, and now it's retracing, but it still has some gap left, all right, to close out that fair value gap. So hopefully we can get this fair value gap closed out, come down to where we have our orange line, which is also the extension. It's not quite into our buy zone, but this is where we're going to start looking for trades. This is where our attention is going to get brought up. So therefore, we're not looking for buys until at least it hits this 4 hour zone, this support resistance area. Market is the news just now came out, 7:30. All right, so let's just check on NASDAQ real quick. We didn't get anything up. So I'll be now flipping back and forth through charts, but I'm trying to explain this US30 real quick, and then we'll get to gold. So again, I want to see this. So then now how do we get there, guys? All right, we can play this fib. We can play this fib down until we get into our zone. Okay, so let me just delete that cheese because you know it's there. So what I did now is I pulled this fib from the top of this area to the bottom. Okay, we see, I don't remember why. Oh, that's the fair value gap. So we see that there's a fair value gap from the top of this candle to the top of these candles. That's where this purple box is, the fair value gap. Matter of fact, what I should do is label that fair value gap so we don't get confused. Fair value gap. Okay, right there. That is right below what we would normally consider our sell zone. All right. So then, if this market wants to push up and give us an overbought on the RSI, close out this fair value gap, we also have this kissing candle sitting right here. We also have this last order block. All right. If you look at this, these last candles that led to that sell-off, right? The 50% of those candles is right under 88.6, which is right next to our kissing candles, which closes out this fair value gap and which would continue because now all of this area, these tops would be liquidity. So if this gets taken out, if this liquidity gets taken out, it closes out our fair value gap, it gets into our order block, and it's into our 88.6, 78.6 sell zone. So I'd be willing to take that trade. And if we do catch that trade, we're catching it back down to our orange line. Right, back down to there. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to put this a little bit below the 88.6. Our stop loss is always 10%. And now we're going to try to come and catch this guy down to here. So there's where our TP needs to be. It's a good 4.5 to 1 trade. That's a good 1,000 pips. Okay, we're going to need to at least hold this right until we get to the bottom of there. So that's a 3 to 1 trade if we can hold to the bottom of these wicks, which would be the first liquidity zone. All right, so we're looking for a 3 to 1 trade on TP1, and then we're going to hold the rest of it there. So I would like shave half and leave the other half to run. All right, guys. So that's what we're doing on there. So it's pretty much almost the same thing on NASDAQ, and we need to get ready now. We need to get ready on NASDAQ. Let's go to the broker. Let's go to NASDAQ on the 30-minute chart. I have an alert set. Let me delete. Give me 1 second, guys, while I get my broker dialed in. We're going from there. So if you're on the Carbon Capital, you're basically drawing from your last 30-minute dot to your new 30-minute dot. I'm going to set alert there, and I'm going to set a limit order. And we're going to set the limit order. I like the 88.6. I'm going to go just below the 88.6 on this limit order. All right. And my stop loss for now is going to be adjusted, but I'm going to just type in 1800. But I'm going to modify that down. Okay, so modify that up, excuse me. So like 1825-ish area is where I'm putting the stop loss if the damn thing will move. Come on. You hear me? I'm sure you guys can hear in the background. I'm trying to move it, but the fucking thing's not moving. We'll come back to that. Dirty 30. So we're on NASDAQ. Let's look at the dirty 30. So my entry needs to be around, I'm just going to say 39,040. All right. So we're on the one. Let's go to the 30. So on the 30-minute, if you guys are using carbon, it is not the last swing marker. It's the one right on the other side of it, on the 30. And we're going to go from there to there. We're going to let this liquidity get taken out. Oh, and right there on the 30-minute, there is a nice, if we look right here, there's a nice little candle sitting right there on the 30-minute. Right there. That's the guy I'm going to target right there. So sell limit, I probably should do more of a lot size than what I just did, which is literally between our 88.6 and our 78.6. And then now I'm going to set the stop loss. I'm just going to type in 39,177, and then I will modify that to the, it's actually almost perfect. We'll just leave it right there. Let's go back and make sure our stop loss, okay, our stop loss on NAS has been adjusted. Now let's look at Goldie. Goldie took off, fucker. Huh, okay, let's look at gold. That son of a bitch, gold. Been playing around with us, dude. Okay, so earlier in the week, guys, if you were with us, let's just look at the trade we did earlier in the week. So there's NASDAQ hitting my indicator. Okay, so look, guys. Earlier in the week, we saw a gold trade right here, and we took this sell right there. All right, and our TP1 was the bottom of those wicks, and we hit TP1. And then, our stop loss was like right on here. We moved to break even after we hit TP1, and then I got taken out right there on that wick right there. Okay, so guys, let's look at gold real quick, because this is what I wanted to explain to you guys. This is the liquidity zone that we've been marking off forever. So therefore, we've been waiting for this liquidity zone to get taken out, and it's doing it now. So we're not entering sales because we want all this to get taken out and get into our sell zone. All right, so our sell zone is starting at 2048. So this is what we wanted. We're hoping that it would break this double bottom, or I was hoping this morning it would break this double bottom, come into this buy zone, and then give us enough power. But apparently when it took out this low here, that was all the juice that it needed to break this high. So it's all good. Let it do what it needs to do. So no gold sales as of yet. 30 is not there yet, and I'm probably in a NAS. I'm not in a NASDAQ trade just yet, but we are super close. My alarm went off, but I did not actually. It hit on here. See, this is the difference, guys, between your broker and even on the 1 hour. Look, it's not overbought. It's not overbought in the 1 hour. So this is kind of a sketchy trade. This is kind of a sketchy trade, faux show. But if we're going to enter at the 88.6 and we have a stop loss where it needs to be, it's not super risky on the. I mean, look at that push. I mean, it's risky. There's no doubt about it. It's risky doing this, but it kind of makes sense. Now it's into this order block, as you can see, and it's tapping the candle now. So it's tapping that last sell candle now. Excuse me, buy candle now. And it's 878.6. So I'm just going to take a. I'm going to take a position there, knowing that I can take more up above if I need be. I got one more sitting above it. So it's basically a 1% trade. It's basically a 1% trade. No big deal. All right, no stress on a 1% trade. Our 30 is nowhere close. Okay, I fucking hear you, dude. I turned the alarm off. Excuse me. Huh, the thing's like ding, 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 ding. Okay, how do we delete this stupid thing? Oh, I guess I just take the enable off. Okay. Okay, the alarm is gone. Okay, guys, so we just took an entry on NASDAQ right here. Let's mark it right there. Our stop loss is set right there, which is above all of these wicks. All right, guys. Our TP1 is going to be right here. So as of now, we're in a 2.41 to trade, which is not the best. It's all good. We have another position. I have another entry setting basically at these tops right here. So I have another position setting here, and we'll figure out the stop loss in due time, but it would be above all this stuff. And again, our TP1 would be there. So your first entry might not always be the best. So it's okay to have multiple bullets. If I entered at 1% here, I definitely have another 1 or 2% sitting on top if I need to re-enter. Sorry, I took the OBS off. Let me look and see. Is there any chats? No, there's no chats. Thank you all 12 people. Hey guys, if you learn at least one little thing from this, please subscribe. Please like. All right, what we're talking about today is fair value gaps. We're using RSIs. We're using Fibonacci's. We're using Elliott waves. We're trying to figure out where the market's going as far as liquidity is concerned. And obviously, it's crap liquidity down here because it's off to the moon. But this could be one of those things where it's just taking out people and then it's going to come right back down. Again, I think it needs to come back down lower to this 17,650-ish area before it's done grabbing liquidity on the buy side. But you see this trend line, and it could be just smacking all these people around right now, taking this stuff out. So it is what it is, guys. So we're in the trade. We're in just a tablet drawdown. I entered at the 78.6. But let's see it get into this other area, and we'll shoot our other bullet. That is a very strong candle, though. Good God. Okay, so I mean, let's see if that makes sense as far as liquidity is concerned. I mean, look, just gathering order, gathering. Where did it take off from? Right. So if this was the bottom, I mean, it got into this little order block, but I mean, there's still the order block below it. There's still this order block below it. There's still a gigantic fair value gap. I mean, there's still lots of reasons for this thing to come down. So I'm not 100% convinced that this is the bottom and it's setting new highs right now. And it's going to break through all this. I'm just not. Until I see otherwise. So we're going to play these tops. We're going to play this area here as a rejection and come back down. Now that is a very strong candle. So our odds of this rejecting are getting smaller by the second with the power of that candle. So NASDAQ is pulling US30 along with it, and gold, of course. See, this is weird. This is what I've been saying the last couple of days. Why is gold, NASDAQ, and 30 all buying up at the same time? What the hell? How are people and how are banks transferring their money from a secure area like gold, but at the same time putting their investments in risky areas like NASDAQ and the US30? It's kind of crazy. I don't know where they're getting the other money from. What, you know? So we're not in a sell yet on the dirtiest of 30s. We are in a sell on NASDAQ. And yeah, let's just zoom in a little bit. On the 1 hour, we are not overbought. On the 30, we are. And maybe we could come in here and see if we can't scalp an entry. So I'm going to delete this just because we already know we're in the trade. Let's reset and see if we can't scalp this second entry. This is kind of what we did the other day on 30. Okay, so the strength of the candle, one candle, two candle, third's getting smaller. This one is a little bit bigger. We are now overbought. So in this situation, I like to see the three touch on the RSI. I don't know if we're going to get it because it's so strong. But what we'd want to see is a three touch, guys. The down, up, down, up, and then absolutely melt. If it doesn't melt, then we're probably not in the best trade, and we need to figure out how to start to scale out. The same thing happened on US30 the other day. We got in on the first touch, which we did now. We got in on the second touch. I got in on the third touch. So I was at three positions. And then when it did not melt, then I started to close those positions at break even and start to scale out of that trade because it wasn't the best trade. But that was a smart move. We can't be in all of them, and we have to be the best losers possible. So at the end of every day, I tell the guys, mark in your journal, how could we have made more money today and how could we have lost less money, right? And it's good to think about those things. The dirty 30 is still pushing, so we're not there yet. I don't know why it's in a green box because we're not in the trade yet. So let's come back out to the 1 hour and let's just move this out of the way because we're not there. So here's the dirty 30 on the 1 hour pumping up. Let's see if we can get this to clear liquidity. And what's Goldie doing? Goldie's off to the moon through all this liquidity. Because, guys, once it sets a double top and triple top, okay, once it sets a double like this, you know that it's going to get taken out. Once it sets a like these bottom wicks, it's the target. And now look, it's still left this liquidity down here. This is going to get taken out. This liquidity right here is 100% going to get taken out. We need to figure out where is it going to stop and turn around so we can target that area. Okay, so the fact that it's buying up is not a bad thing. The fact that it's buying up without us is not a bad thing. Why? Because then it gives us a better chance to get into a sell and come down and smash this. And now we have a clear target on the other side. Once it smashes it, now we have a clear buy target to come back up and take the top out. So this is what we want. We want it to smash through liquidity. It's unfortunate we weren't in that trade, but it's all good because now we can get on the other side of it. And once we're on the other side of it, then we start pinging this back and forth and start getting back in the flow. I got out of the flow. I'm not going to lie. I was in the flow, but I did some traveling. I went to North Dakota twice. You know, it is. I got to go to Denver on Sunday. So it's imperative that I jump back in this flow so I can get back in next week. Let's see if there's any chats. So thanks again, Cody, Colton, Wayne's in here, Chris is in here. If you guys are in here, you guys learn at least one thing. Please subscribe. We're trying to build up the YouTube channel. Right now we're in NASDAQ sells, and we're hunting this liquidity. Right here, we're seeing this liquidity get taken out. So we entered a small position now. On the 30, we're oversold on the RSI. It's going to be overbought on the RSI. And we're seeing if we can't catch this turnaround. It's a very, very, very strong candle. So I'm not exactly super confident when you have that big of a candle that's going to turn around. But you never know. This market could be just doing this as a manipulation to grab liquidity and then take off. So since it's continuing to push, I'm actually going to move that last buy limit out of the way. And I'll delete it. And I will reevaluate on that buy limit. It did just break trend, which is somewhat unfortunate. If you had a trend line like this, right there it is. So for all the trend line buyers, they would have been buying right here, which again, I'm not a big fan of buying. I guess you could technically be a trend line buyer and a breakout buyer at this zone. I'm not really into that. But again, if you're that trader who does that, this is going to be your TP then, because those are that's your other tops. So if that's the way you want to trade, by all means do it that way. We can discuss that strategy. It's pretty easy. You find a top, you find where the market has structure, you draw a trend line, and you enter once it breaks. Normally you wait for the candle to close before you enter, in which case you still haven't entered yet, which is ridiculous. I don't trade that way. That's just me personally. You get to come down to maybe like a 5 minute if you wanted to or something, and then find a better entry, but then you still be entering right here. Which again, you're not in a lot of profit, and you're in a hell of a lot of risk for that. So therefore, I'm not a fan of doing that. If you are a trend line, and what I'm referring to, if you're a trend line trader, some people would like to do this. Some people wait for the trend line to break, let's say on a 5 minute chart, and they buy when the candle closes. Your stop loss always has to be below the swing, like here, and then your TP would then be the next structural high or the next structural swing marker, which would be probably right there. So your TP1, you're looking at a 0.6. Not a very good trade. Less than a 1-to-1. But it did break structure, and there's no telling where it's going to stop. This is a very bullish market, and perhaps this is the bull entry that leads to all-time highs. I don't know. What I'd like to see personally is like what we discussed before, is for this to find as resistance, and then it turns around. So our first entry was right in here, and we're going to hold this as a stop loss, because if it breaks this, then there's no telling. It might go set all-time highs. So I'm willing to risk 1% on the fact that this is going to turn around and come back down, like we discussed a minute ago in our 4-hour chart. This needs to come back down to this area to close out this fair value gap. And on the daily, that's a kissing candle on the daily. And this is also a very good, as you can see, support resistance area, right? As you see. So we found that on the daily chart. So let's come back into the 30 minutes so we can look at it a little cleaner. There it is. I'm hoping this is it, and let's start to tank off from here. We'll see. If you're in the chat, drop your name so I know who's in here. I've got 13 people in here. I want to see 13 names, guys. Come on, let's see who's in here. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. We're trying to build this YouTube channel. All this education, all this strategy, all this stuff that I talk about, you could find on anyone else's, but I'm just trying to condense it all into one format for you guys. I don't sell courses. I don't have a paid Discord or Telegram, none of that stuff. I don't do signals. It's all free. And hopefully just by you guys liking and subscribing, I'll build a YouTube channel, and then YouTube can pay me. I don't need you guys' money. This is for training only. This is not financial advice. So please see a financial advisor if you need that. But if you're learning something about fair value gaps, you never really understood it, hopefully you pick that up. Fibonacci's, on how to place Fibonacci's and what zones are the key zones to use. How to use extensions. How to use a Fibonacci on a 4-hour chart. And you can come down into the smaller time frames and start to build the extensions to find turnarounds. So for example, if this is a 4-hour Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, okay, which would be the case because this is the highest high, and right now this is the swing marker. We have a 61.8 sitting right here, which is the magical Fibonacci number, right? 61.8. So how do we use these sell Fibonacci's to figure out where we can buy around this magical Fibonacci right here? So in this situation, we drew that Fibonacci from top to bottom on the smaller time frames, and the TP extension, the 61.8 extension, is right where our buy area is by the 61.8 on the turnaround. So it's starting to stack confluences. So now we feel safer about the trade when we have multiple Fibonacci's that are starting to overlap each other. You do have some leeway to on where you do put your Fibonacci's, but I highly suggest, and the way that I do it, and the way that I've been trained by my mentors, is you always look for the swings. Really, and the time frame is different because a 5-minute swing is different than a 4-hour swing. But if you're looking for structural areas, this was obviously the high, and then it set this low. It retraced this is the next high, this is the next low, because this high did not break that high. So you're still using this one. So you're going from here to here. All right. And so now this is the next high because this is not it. So, right, your next Fibonacci would then be, there's a whole video of this that I posted from here, and your next low would be these lows over here. Really, does it have a really good retracement? So really, I would use this one, right? So that's how we found the Fibonacci zone that we're trading in, high to low, high to low, high, which is, this is the higher high, high, and where's the next good low? These is all just BS. This is the next good low right there. All right, our extension is 236 and 6218, which is getting right us into our buy zone. So it's giving us confidence. This needs to be up here, right there. What's up, Mitchell Hernandez? Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate the time. Hopefully we're getting a little something out of this. We did catch a trade earlier this week. We did take a smaller L on US30 this week. We're able to scale out of the position. Hey, baby. Good morning. This is my lovely daughter. Come here. Oh, can you say hi to YouTube? Hi, YouTube. Hi. Hi, YouTube. And she's gonna be a sniper trader when she goes up, guys. Just to let you guys know. Yeah, you're gonna be a sniper trader, and she's gonna be a guitarist. She already has a guitar on the wall, sitting right there. She loves to play. At 2 years old, she's already playing guitar. Dad's gonna get to retire and have it. Oh my God, look at gold. So again, guys, with gold popping like this, we need to start looking for entries on gold. Now we can start sniping. Okay, start sniping these gold entries. Here's your baby doll. Here's your baby. Thank you. Thank you. All right, why is my MetaTrader giving me alerts? Oh, it's on gold. So did I just enter? So I just entered a sell limit on gold. Yeah, so my sell limit on gold just triggered. So I'm now in a sell on gold. I didn't manually enter that one. I wish I would have seen that beforehand, but it's all good because there's the bottom of my 78.6, right? And with I'm not exactly happy with the amount of strength that has, but it's all good. I'm in now, and I have my TP, I have my stop loss set appropriately. So let me just give me a second for my MetaTrader. If this is the beginning of the sell, then that is going to be the swing marker here. All right, and we're targeting the bottom. Our sell zone then is in the 78.88.6. Gold loves. Oh, and also look, guys, gold loves the 78.6. Look where that's at 2050. We're at the quarter point. Okay, we are overbought on the 1 hour RSI. We're obviously going to be overbought on all the other ones below that. But the only trick is now, is that a wick entry, or is this going to keep pushing and we're going to find the divergence thing? So what we can do then is we're in now. Right, let me just set my stop loss appropriately because I don't think it's set appropriately. So if that's the swing here, that's that. There's the entry. Let me move the stop loss to here, right there. We're going in a cool 2.5, almost 3% on that. Actually, 2.4. No, that's a 3%er right there. Okay, that's a 3%er. That's a larger one because we're going on a larger time frame. But look what else I just saw on my MetaTrader. So let me come down into the 1 hour on Goldie. So again, we just entered a gold sell right there, the 78.6. But if you look now, look where the TP is of this fib. On my MetaTrader, it's perfectly right on the 78.6. So there's a small gap here. But on this bull push, let me mark it out for you guys. On this bull push there, the TP one, the 23.6, is right at the bottom of our 78.6. So it's again, we have a 78.6. Now we have RSI. Now we have quarter point. Now we have TP extension. We're starting to stack. There's 4 different confirmations in one. Yeah, sell fib, buy fib, RSI, quarter point. There's 4 right there. A reason why this thing can push off and sell down. Now, I don't know if it's going to come all the way down. but I think it is. So after this gets done and it does show us selling strength, again, I'm not saying this is the perfect top. It could push a little higher, obviously, but when it does do this, I have a lot of confidence that I'm holding all the way down to 2025. 2024 is the double bottom, so we're going to call it 2025 as the TP. So this is going to be a bigger trade. So therefore, I risked more, and we're going to try to hit this one. All right. So hopefully this one pays out for us. But on this buy, now again, we need to have a higher time frame and higher outlook to see that this entire time this market was going up and down and doing this, we're still in this same fib, right? Which is the 61.8. I mean, it wanted to reject it. Unfortunately, it did not give us a 78.6 entry. We missed that trade. It's all right, guys. It's all right. It's no big deal. So we're just going to catch it on the other side. So we got our first entry there. What is NASDAQ doing? NASDAQ has not broken through, which is good for us because we're in a trade. And it hit the 78.6. I would really like, let me zoom in. Let's go to the 30. I would really like this to close below, and it just did, kind of. But really the next 30-minute candle. That's on the 30-minute. And, okay, we got 3 more minutes. Why is this candle already closed? You got 2 minutes left, and it's already started a new candle. Oh, I'm on the 15. That's why. Okay, I'd love for this 30-minute to close below this 88.6. If that closes below the 88.6, I'm even happier. So let's see if we can get a rejection. Let's go to the smaller chart, and there's a rejection. We're now going to the 3. Let's go to the 3-minute and see if we can get the 3 touch on the 3 touch on the RSI divergent. All right, or maybe we can just get something so we can re-enter this trade at a higher lot size. Again, we took the first entry at a lower lot size because it's super sketchy, right? We are more than, if this starts to reject, we can definitely catch another one. Yeah, my daughter is a cute little sniper trader. It's pretty crazy. She puts the guitar on and like runs around the house and is already starting to play guitar. Okay, 1 hour on the US30. We are getting into our fair value gap area now. So let's see. We're not overbought on the RSI. So let's just be a little more patient and see if we can't catch this a little bit higher. I mean, for some reason, all of these are moving in the same direction with gold. So if NASDAQ wants to start selling off, maybe gold, maybe 30 can push a little and then sell off, and then maybe gold will sell off too. It's fucking crazy. I can't seem to wrap my brain around why all 3 of these, where are people getting their money from? Are they selling crypto? You know what? I bet you that can be a very, very true. Let's look at Bitcoin. Not yet. They're not selling Bitcoin yet. On the daily, they're definitely not selling it. Where's Ethereum? So I sold some Ethereum. Of course, it's still pushing. But Jesus, we were buying Ethereum when it was hitting like 1,000. It's like a 3,400 right now. Let's just check. Let me just check. Okay, this is good. So I'm still holding. This is Cardano. I'm still holding my Cardano. So I'm happy to see this is still pushing up. I'm really happy to see that actually. And I did not liquidate it. Perfect. And DOT. Again, DOT is doing the same thing. I really want to see DOT explode. Look at DOT. Dude, the all-time high was 55 and it's at 8. I'd really love to see that. And look at Cardano's all-time high was like a 3 and it's down at 60 cents. Dude, so if I can get a couple of dollars worth out of Cardano, buying in way down here like I have been, shoo, I'm good on that. All right, let's go back to our what we should be looking at, which is NASDAQ. Let's get on the 3-minute again, and let's see what this bad boy is doing. All right, so there's a first down. I'd like a little bit deeper of a push down before it gives us this touch. So we'll just have to look at it and wait. 30 still pushing. We're not even in ours. We're not in yet, and we're in gold here. Way overbought, and so we'll see if we can scale back into some more of these positions once they give us a better outcome, a better entry. Thank you all 12 people who are still hanging in here. I appreciate it. While we're here, guys, when we have a little bit of time, market's not open yet. We got another 30 minutes. Let's go back to the internets. Let's go back to the dot card. Let me post in the chat right now the link to the dot card. Again, copy link. All right. There it is. So look, guys, and when you come to the dot card, you have the YouTube, the Twitters, the Instagram. You have the My Flash Funding, which is the funded broker. You have the normal broker. You have a couple of Discords on here, and you have a Telegram. So whichever you like. This is not my Discords. This is not my Telegram. These are the buddies. These are people I know. And yeah, this is my funding company. This is my broker, and this is my Twitter and Instagrams. Okay. So there's that link if you guys want to check out the dot card. Dot card's kind of cool. It's $50. You pay it one time, and it gives you basically lifetime. It gives you a little card on the back of your phone, and then I can just go to people and just touch. Maybe it's kind of hard to see, but you have a little dot on the back of the phone. And supposedly, when you go to people, you can just touch it, and it brings up the card on their phone. I will say it doesn't work that great. The dot card does work, but it's not like, sometimes it's not like instantaneous. Like, you just touch it to your phone, it brings up. Sometimes, like, some people's phones are, I don't know if they have their settings turned off or whatnot. I don't know, but sometimes it's tough. So yeah. So we're in our first trade here on NASDAQ. The chats are kind of quiet today, guys. That 30-minute did close below the 88.6. So that's good to go. I'd like to just, I mean, we'd love to just see this damn thing reject from here. But unfortunately, it's still giving us a little bit of push. So that's kind of a bummer we didn't get into that trade. I'm just curious right now. Is there any 5-minute trend line guys that would have caught that? Like, 3-minute guys that would have caught that trade? I mean, perhaps there's a trend line here. But even then, you're really catching that late. You're not catching that clean. And even on the 3-minute chart, there's no candle close. On the 1-minute chart, it's the same deal. The candle doesn't close. So you're entering in way up here, and by then the move's gone. So I don't see any of the 1-minute or 3-minute, whatever trend line guys catching that trade. I don't know how they would have done it. Not if they would have stuck to their well, I know some guys are what they call candle open guys instead of candle close guys. So since we have 12 people on here, I don't know if all of you guys, can you show me in the chat who is using Carbon Capital? Because if most of you are not using Carbon Capital, let me show you something real quick on Carbon Capital while we wait for this news to open. Or excuse me, the market to open. Where's 30? Let me see in the chat who does not have Carbon Capital or who does. Dots, bro. Yeah, you're in there, Wayne. When should we look to take another entry on NASDAQ? When we have some more confirmation. Because right now we don't have all the confirmations. With volume, I can't wait and close. Oh, with volume, you can't wait till candle close. Yeah, gold, NAS currently. I'll call it the gold and NAS. Oh, shit. That's what's up, Wayne. I got the late on US30, but still rallying. Oh, shit. So we got some people in here who are trend lining it and getting on it. There we go. There we go. Hey, if that's your strategy, by all means, take that strategy. If you caught those trades, you know, I would start to think that some sellers are going to start to step in. So I use Carbon. I have a demo Carbon. What's up, Colton? All right. Dots. Okay, man. Congratulations to all those guys who are trend lined and caught that trade on NAS100. Let's see if we can figure out how they caught that. You know, we can go over different strategies. I know the that strategy. I mean, I would hope to think that you guys are not breakout traders. I would hope to think you guys were not breaking that out, or even this. But if you are and you caught the trade, I would think you're pretty damn lucky. If we're on a 1-minute chart, I mean, I'm not sure where the dots are on this. Let me pull the broker up. Let's go to, okay, so this is 30. Let's go to 1 minute. Okay, so to show people on the YouTube world what we're talking about here, this is 30 on the 1-minute chart, and this is the dot to dot what I'm referring to. And what a lot of people will do is they will draw dots. They draw trend lines to these dots. All right. Now I'm not really sure what dot you would have used. Like maybe you're using this dot, but again, You have candle closes and opens, and your stop loss would have been here. Da da da. I don't know, right? But what I was going to tell you guys is with Carbon Capital, you can draw these trend lines. You can label these trend lines. Maybe some of you guys don't know this. You can label this trend line buy, sell, or close. Let's say we label this trend line buy. Then we come up here to our EA, and we tell me this thing to take a signal, take a trade, take or close, take my trade. All right. Trend line is the trigger, candle close, and what they're talking about is candle open. So what they're saying is as soon as this candle touches that trend line, they're in the trade as a buy because we labeled it a buy. All right. You could do the same thing on trend line break, candle openers close, and that gets you out of the trend line. You can set all of this stuff up, and we can do another video on this later, but your stop losses, your percentages, your lot sizes, you can set all this stuff up. Trailing stop loss, the whole 9 yards. You could set all that up so that way, if you're a trend line trader, you can just set these trend lines up and just go to work, basically. All right. I'm not a trend line trader. I don't use the EA. I have used it in the past, and I wasn't very good at it, and I wasn't very successful. So look at this NASDAQ, guys. Okay, so here we go. See how we had the pull down? So I think Wayne was asking where to re-enter on the short. I was thinking he was referring to the short. And so this is kind of what we want to see. We want to see the top. We want to see the top is here. Let's draw some lines, right? Where is the top of the most significant area, which is here, right? That's the top there. On the RSI is what I'm referring to. We had a double top on the RSI here. Okay. The price is getting higher on the RSI, on the candles are getting higher, but at the same time, now the RSI is getting weaker. Okay, so we had the double top, and now look, the RSI is dropping even though the price is getting higher. So this is divergent. So if you don't understand divergent, that is what we're referring to as divergent, is when the price is ticking higher, right? High, higher, higher, and maybe even one more higher, and then go. Okay, because at the same time, you see the trend line down here bottom, we're getting lower and lower and lower. I personally like to see what's called a three touch. All right, so we have, for me, this would be the first touch, the second touch. I'm expecting one more. All right, if I can get a third touch here, at the same time this RSI is getting lower, all right, that's when I'm going to enter another position up here. So I'm waiting to enter one more. I did not enter a full 2-3%. I entered like a 1%er down here at the 78.6, right? Like in this area, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure where it's at because we're on a 1 minute time frame. But anyways, so let's see if we can get this push, which we're getting now, where market has not opened yet. So again, for me, I tend to find that the market likes to set up and give us an area to take a trade so that when the market does open, it goes. Now, I'm not super excited about this much of volume off of that news. I don't know if market open is going to tank. I usually find that's not the case. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I would have liked to have seen this, whatever this happens at like 7 o'clock in my time in the morning, 8 o'clock East Coast time, so that when news drops, we're here and then it drops and goes. So this might be a continuation. And we might lose this trade. So it is what it is. It's not the most favorable outcome with this much volume getting into our sell zone before the market opens. So maybe it's one where we should just be a little more patient on the entry. But we're in, and it is what it is. We are also should probably be buying because this is a bullish market. So that's kind of going against us. This is not the best trade in the world. But we're playing our percentages, and again, it's like Vegas, right? They only need to win 51% of the time. And look at this fucker pumping. So it's pumping. Let me come back out to the 1 hour. So on NASDAQ, it's pumping, and we're at the double top area where I drew my fib. I haven't popped my, so this is a 1% trade. I have not, I deleted my entry, my second entry, and I'll have to take it manually if we get one. So NASDAQ is doing what it wants to do, which is not that great. 30 is now in our sell zone, and I have not hit my limit. I'm going to move my limit up just a bit because of the strength of this market. And let's look at 30. We're just now getting into the overbought. Just now getting, so we're going to be more patient on 30. We got in too early maybe on NASDAQ. I'm going to be a little more patient on 30, and I'm going to set my buy limit up higher. I just don't like the amount of volume that it has right now. And so I actually moved mine up to at the top of this candle right there. So that double top is what I'm going to play now because of the volume, because of the strength here. Again, we're making modifications as we go because we're just reading the market, we're reading the strength, and we're just looking at how it's playing out. So this is our original sell zone. We don't have the 1 hour overbought yet, right? So we still maybe have some room to move up. It is overbought on the smaller time frames, obviously, but it can be playing this block, right? It can be playing this whole area. So what we want to do then is put our stop loss above that area, which would be here still, above this order block. And yeah, well, let's just wait until on a smaller time frame. See, we haven't got any sort of divergence or anything yet. So we're just now starting to get it on US30. Let's see on NASDAQ. That's one we really need to check on. 1, 2, third touch. Woo! Do we enter this trade now? It hasn't broken any structure. Are we feeling risky, guys? That's a third touch divergence. I like to see it on, that's a 1 minute. I'd like to see it on the 3 minute. Market has not opened. News has not came out. I mean, the news has came out. Market hasn't opened. 1, 2. That is a double top. I can see my 1% there. My one candle. I'm in for 1%. Should we take another trade? What do you guys think? In the comments, put down, should we take another trade? Would you guys be taking another one? I just don't like the momentum. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't like the momentum. I'm just going to hold my original position on NASDAQ. I just don't like the momentum. I mean, right there would be the entry. Right now would be the entry. 814 right before market. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. It is what it is. Another, that's a 0.5% now because the stop loss is much smaller. So altogether, we're at 1.5% on NASDAQ. Who gives a shit? It's not the fucking the end of the world. Let's go. NASDAQ, 1.5%. US30, overbought. Let's be a little more patient on overbought. Let's wait for this 3 minute divergent like we just had on NASDAQ. All right, 1, 2, 3. It's getting divergent. Let's see. Let's see. We're not over leveraging, so I'm okay with that. How's gold looking? Gold's doing the same thing. Look at the divergence on gold. And so do we pop a second entry? No, we have a fat entry actually on gold. So I don't need to pop another entry on gold. We're already in for like many percentages. How many percent? It's 2.5, 2, 4, 3.5% on gold. So I don't need to touch gold anymore. Let it just do its thing. We have a sizable stop loss. We have a sizable stop loss on gold. And I'm just playing this like a longer term. All right, I entered there. Again, according to the strategy, when you enter on the sell zone, you always have to be 10%. So I do see there's liquidity here. I've entered here, but I have my stop loss above all those. It's a huge stop loss. That's why it's such a percentage. But as soon as this thing starts to tank down, I can start to move the stop loss down and start to deleverage out of it, reduce my risk. But as for now, it's there because my target, you know, we've got a hefty target ahead of us. So let me just double check, make sure I'm giving you guys the most accurate information. Yeah, so there's my 78.6. Yeah, so my stop loss is up here, which is hella high. 2070-ish area. Yeah, 2073. That's where it's at. Faux show. And I see there's a TP here, which means I have a buy limit set, which I'm going to delete. Delete the buy limit. So now we're in that sell. All right, now we're good to go. So we're selling now. I'm not going to enter any more positions on gold. Look at that. Liquidity got taken out. This is why we didn't sell here. Liquidity, I mean, we did once, right? We played the double top and we got our hundreds of the pips, but we're not doing it again. We're not entering a triple top. All right, guys, it's very important to realize that it's okay to play the M's and W's, right? So it's okay to play the M right there. It is not okay to play it the third time. No, 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 no. Smash, right? All these people who are shorting off of here just got smashed. We don't do that. We wait for that to get broken. We find our zone above it, and then we take the trade. So we do have a fair value gap. I understand, right? This is the order block, okay? And then we do have a fair value gap sitting right below that order block from here to there. Right? I see that. And so let's mark it off. And that is where it's in. It's in 50% of that fair value gap, which just happens to line up with our 78.6, which gold loves, which happens to set up the quarter point, which happens to set up with the TP extension. So we're starting to stack these confirmations, guys. Sell zone 1, sell fib 1, fair value gap 50% 2, quarter point 3, buy fib 4, taking out liquidity 5, overbought on the RSI. We've got 6 different confluences of why we should be entering a sell here. We have a proper stop loss. I don't want to say we over leveraged. I mean, it is a larger trade, don't get me wrong, but this is the way that we start to stack our confirmations and we start to take the best trades. So when Juan asked me the other day, I said, "Yo, bro, you got 6 confirmations on that trade?" And he's like, well, that's what I'm talking about. I just rattled off 6 of them for you right there. Look at this NASDAQ starting to reject again, dude. Look at this NASDAQ wick up and reject. You see? 3 minute. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, guys. If this thing rejects, maybe we pop that other entry. Let's go to the 15 minute. This is the 88.6. So remember that the bottom of our box is the 88.6. So if we go to the 30 and if it closes below, then this could be the liquidity grab entry flip on the other side. There's such strong momentum. It's hard to trade against that. But, look at this too. Look. 78.6. Maybe it's starting to reject. Let's go to the 3 minute and see if we can find some RF. So we're not divergent yet. Again, the market hasn't opened. It's just one of those trades like if we enter, we want to be wrong fast. I don't want to be sitting this drawdown and sitting around and screwing around. So I'm in NASDAQ. I'm in gold. There's no reason why I have to feel pressure to enter the 30, especially early. So let's just let it mess around, see if we can find some internal structure, and then we can take the trade and get back in, or not back in, we can get in the trade. But I do like the fact right now this is starting to do what it's doing before the market has opened, which is in 11 minutes. We've got 11 minutes. You guys are kind of quiet on the chats today. It's all good. Goldie's doing the exact same thing NASDAQ's doing. Up, divergent. So let's just hope all this shit sells off. I mean, the bulls had fun. They popped their entry. They're coming up to where they can start to liquidate all that stuff and really look for sells. On the higher time frames, like we talked about, you guys are just joining us. We started off this call on the higher time frame on the daily, and we looked at reason why we think this needs to sell off. And if we look right now on the daily, this is the top. Look at this tops. Right? Okay, so let's just draw this line right here. Right there. Okay, so now we have this orange line that we just drew. Right? Let's label this orange line tops. Okay, we went to the daily and we looked at all these tops of these candles right here. So if we can come down now to the 1 hour, let's reset this chart. We can get a close below this top, which is, look, it's actually our 88.6. These lines and these fibs and the stuff just seems to keep coming over and over and over. It's not a miracle. I mean, this is how this chart works, man. This is how this stuff works. It's all algorithms and like harmonics and shit. It just so happens these tops are right there at 88.6. So let's see if we can get this close below this 88.6. And then perhaps that's our signal to take this other trade. Again, we're not at a large stop loss, right? So if we're a trader, we want to be right quick. We want to lose quick. We don't want to be in these long ass drawdown trades. So I mean, we're not risking a lot, and then our TP is going to be these bottoms. Really, our runners may be way down here. So even if we catch these bottom of these wicks, I mean, we're at a 3.5 to 1 trade. Man, I think I should just pop this other entry right now. In my gut, I should pop this other entry right now. So but we're actually at my original entry. So I'm actually in a tiny bit of profit right now, which I'm cool with. Let me delete all this stuff on my damn broker. So, I mean, what percentage is it again? 1%, 1.5%? Oh, that's gold. I'm sorry, that's gold. Let me look at the right chart first. Oh, I'm in NASDAQ. I'm in 2 sell. Okay. Apparently, I'm already in 2 positions then. I don't remember doing that. It's all good. So, yeah, the first position is in profit. The second one is obviously not because I took it at the 88.6. That's a 1%er, and that's not even a 1%er. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's 1%. 2%, excuse me, and that's 1%. So we're in for 3% total on NASDAQ. Okay, so we're in 3% on NASDAQ. We're good. We don't need to do anything else with NASDAQ except for just watch it now. We're in NASDAQ. So let's change our focus to 30. 30 is rejecting the 78.6. I still think it has a little bit room to go. Let's just reset these charts. All right, here it is. It's getting overbought, but on the smaller time frames, as you guys know, I like the 3-minute. We don't have any divergence. So we have the top, and the price is getting lower as the RSI is getting lower. So we're cool there. So let's switch over to this view, and we're just going to watch these. So we already in a NASDAQ sell, so we don't need to re-enter anything else. We're actually in profit on the second position, so we entered about there. I need the TP to be at least the bottom of these wicks, and that would be a good almost 4 to 1 trade, and I have a second position on there. Let's delete this fair value gap. Let's clean these charts up. We don't need this stuff anymore. And we already know where that is, so we don't need that anymore. And that's our fib, so we're good. We really don't need the fib anymore either. Let's take that out. And the liquidity trend line just got smashed through, but really that is the sell side liquidity up there. We'll leave that there. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to put a little, I'm just going to do one of these little boxes right here just to keep me aware of where these tops are. So a lot of guys also are what Andy calls a wick fill trader, right? So what he's saying is if you come up to like the 4-hour or even like a daily or a 1-hour, I think maybe on the indices he does a 30-minute, and you see the highs, right? So these are the swing highs right here. What he likes to do is draw a little box in these wicks, and he wants that wick to get filled and then start to sell off. Now, I'm not exactly sure where he sets his stop loss when it comes to that. I think I've heard him say 10 bips before, which is way too small. So for me, I would refer back to the Fibonacci's in that situation if you're to do that, and then set your stop loss at 10% of that overall fib. So he's looking for the wick fill, but also it could not be that wick. It could be these wicks that he's looking to fill, which is right here. Okay, so if you're a wick fill trader and not that wick, you just got your wick fill entry right there. All right, so wick fill, stack that on top of the million confirmations that we already have. On the dirty 30, I don't know why all this stuff is on here. It must be from the last trade we took last week. For some reason, this chart's still showing it. Delete all this stuff. And we are playing this right here. Okay, let's play that out. This is the last order block that led to those sells. We're getting into the 88.6. See how it's still coming up on the 30? So we're good to go. Perhaps again, if you're a wick filler, this would be the wick fill area here, right there, which is not our 88.6. Like our 88.6 is just below that. Let's make this smaller. And I think I have a label for that. I think we can label that order block. Cancel that. Can we label this order block? Oh, I guess I don't have. Oh, that's because I have it under the rectangle tool. So if we do this, we do this, and we do order block. There we go. Okay. So let's see a little bit of rejection here on NASDAQ. And we're waiting patiently for the 88.6 on the 30. Let's come to US30 on my broker. Yeah, I mean, I see US30 selling off. I mean, it's taking out liquidity, right? I'm not crazy when I think this. At least I don't think I'm crazy. Look at this wick, Phil. Look at these wicks right here. And it just smashed that. That was liquidity I want to see smash. This is the order block right here that I want to see get rejected. Maybe we find a wick fill, maybe we don't. The 88.6 is right there. I mean, I feel like I should just put an entry right here at the 88.6. I'm moving my entry to the 88.6. All right. And I'm adjusting my stop loss to there. And so that's my entry, guys. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm a little hesitant because of the momentum that it has. But again, if this is my strategy, then this is what I have to take. I have to abide by the strategy. And there's my 3-to-1 trade. There's my TP1 at the bottom of these wicks. All right. Which is also the 2-3, which is right there at the 236, right? So this fib level, the 236 is right there, which you can turn around and flip from there. All right, I'm not entered to that trade yet, but that's where I'm going to enter. So there we go. There's our homework, dude. Our trade, basically our trading is done for the day. It's 2 minutes before market opens. My decisions have been made. The entries have been done. The gold, the US30, and the NASDAQ. We are still in good profit on EJ that we took earlier in the week. 8:30, my day is done, right? We're going to be on this call till right after the market opens, but this is why I trade the time frame that I trade. I started this morning at about, I started marking the charts up and looking and stuff earlier in the morning, but really started trading 7:20-ish, 7:15, whatever time I logged on YouTube, and it's 8:30. I've been doing it for an hour and a half now. We're in the prime time of brain function, prime time of all that, and if we're right, we're right. If we're not, we're not. We're going to have to let these entries either hit stop loss or hit TP. They're going to do what they're going to do. And you limit your trading hours. If for some reason I lose these trades, I'm not looking to get back in anything else for today. This is it. These are my decisions, and I'm going to live with them. So we're in just a bit of drawdown on NASDAQ, as you can see on the left, and we're not entered US30 just yet. We're going to see if in 1 minute we can get a pop, but look at 30 already starting to come down. Let's see what market brings us. Let's see what market open brings us. We're going to be on NASDAQ, we're going to be right or we're going to be wrong. Let's see. This is it. This is the rodeo, boys. All that preparation for this. It's pushing up, which I don't like to see. NAS is pushing up. And then Goldie. It's pushing up, dude. Yeah, it's... Look at the candles go bonkers. Look at 30 chart to sell off. Let's see if 30 will pull NASDAQ with it. Come on, NASDAQ. Don't fucking do this. It's all good. It is what it is. We're not in 30. We are in NASDAQ, and we're about to hit stop loss. Which just means my fib was probably in the wrong spot. My fib is in the wrong spot on my broker. Give me a second. The fib needs to be... Why is my fib drawn right there? What the shit is going on here? Okay. There's the proper stop loss. Which is probably going to hit because it's fucking pushing up so high. Look at 30. Come on. Look, dude, 30 needs to drag NASDAQ with it. Look at 30. That was the entry on 30. Look at it go off. So we didn't get entered on 30, I don't believe. We missed that entry by a few pips. It's all good. There's still plenty of time. NASDAQ is just showing some strength, though. Good Lord. let's delete this little line down here. I'd really like it if NASDAQ would just sell off. Right? NASDAQ is fucking around. It's one of these things. Just one of these days. What's 30 doing? Let's come to the 30. Let's also go down to the 30-minute chart and see what 30 is doing. With 30 doing this, it's not really pushing, and it wants to show some signs of selling. Like, I'm hoping that it drags NASDAQ with it. I mean, these guys don't always move in the same direction. Man, it's hard with that much momentum. With that much momentum in the buy side, I knew it was going to be hard to catch that NASDAQ sell. I knew it was going to be hard. It's all good. And also, too, this is Thursday. This is the turnaround. Wednesdays can be Monday, Tuesday is continuation. Wednesday can be a consolidation. And then usually Thursday, Friday ends the week off, retracing the majority of the move that it made on Monday, Tuesday. So it's probably what we're seeing now. That's probably what we're seeing now. Because where's Monday? So this is Monday. So it's basically just retraced everything that it did all week long. But now let's see if we can't at least finish down here in the middle. Let's get rejection and come back down. And if we lose this trade, if we think about it, let's just go to the 1 hour. Let's reset this. Maybe what we should have done is fibbed this, in which case we're just now at the 78.6. Right? We're just now at the 78.6. Let me go back out to the 2 hour. It's going to be hard to move my stop loss up more. Don't ever do that, right? Don't ever move your stop loss. It is what it is. But I'm just thinking about is this the real entries right now? Because if that's the fib and this is the liquidity zone, which is all right here, which is all of these wicks, it's going to want to take those wicks out, right? So should my stop loss, I don't want to put it way up there, that's for sure. That's way too much. But at least above that, at least above those wicks, which it is, it is above those wicks. Don't get me wrong. I'm just curious. All right, I'm not going to move it, man. I'm not going to move it. If it hits, it hits. It is what it is. I do see on the smaller time frames, I do see a candle hidden over here on the 15-minute, and I don't know if it's going to target that last buy candle. Let's go to the bigger screen so I can show you here. 15-minute. There is this candle sitting right there, which is the last buy candle before the sell-off. And guess what price is at right now? Is at that candle. So it just cleared out these tops, right? It just cleared out those tops. It's at that last buy candle. Man, I can't believe it's not rejecting. We have the fib, we have the buy, we have the liquidity. I'm gonna leave my stop loss where it's at. It's getting pretty close. It is what it is, guys. Where's 30? 30 is screwing around. Still hasn't given me an entry. Nope, no entry on 30. And gold is rejecting. At least gold is giving us some profit today. Hopefully, right? It's too early to talk, but our gold entry is now rejecting. So we're catching gold. If gold's going to sell off, then you would think NASDAQ's going to buy up, and it's exactly what it's doing. But as we saw earlier, pre-market, they're all moving in the same direction. So if 30 is going to start to sell off, which it is not really doing, but it's giving some good wicks on the sell side. If 30 is going to sell off, then maybe NAS will start to pull NAS with it, and gold will start to do the same thing. On the 3-minute, where's our third? So 1, 2, we're divergent, guys. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 touches. There's our 3 touches, and there's our divergence. So, this is what I like to look for. 1, 2, it did break that one, but we're still divergent. There's a 1, 2, 3 divergent. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. We pulled the trigger too early. I shouldn't have had that first entry, but it's starting to reject now, which is the you know, if you guys are playing the wick fill area, it's wick filling right now. So again, this is the wick fill area that I was referring to right there with those wicks, which is basically where our little purple box is, and it's wick filling and it's closing down. So if this thing closes below, I'll have more faith. But right now, it is what it is. This is why proper stop loss placement is important. So this is the 88.6, and it didn't touch it. Let's see if we can come down to a smaller time frame. And again, we don't have the 3 touches on the, so I don't think 30 is ready for an entry. It hasn't hit my entry yet. I mean, it missed it by a very small amount of pips. So if you're looking at 30-30, right, look at how many pips it missed it by. This much. My entry is right on the 88.6. Perhaps I should have had it right there, but I mean, it's right there and it hasn't hit. So still have 12 people in the chats. What up, all 12 people? Thank you guys for tuning in. As you can see, this is what we do live. You can hopefully see the not freaking out. You can hopefully see the proper stop loss placement and the ideas and the thinking that's behind it. I'm not freaking out. I had a proper stop loss. We had proper entries. Let's go fucking Goldie. If we're going to lose on NASDAQ, let's at least gold hit. Let's look at the EJ trade we had. All right. EJ trade we took. Let's go to the 4-hour. And we're in profit on EJ. So if we're taking L's on the other side, at least we're making some money on EJ. So this is a swing trade. We're going to try to hold EJ for a minute. I'm not exactly I think EJ, this is negative swaps on this one, which is kind of shitty, but I'd like to see this for the next several days. Want to just pay the swaps. It is what it is. Let's fucking go, NASDAQ. Positive thing. I need all 12 people in here to be like, yo, NASDAQ, so. Let's get some positive thinking going, guys. 15-minute. Let's see what NASDAQ's doing. Sell off, baby. Come on. Close below. Sell off, baby. Come on. Is that it? 30 is selling off. Fuck. I should have been in that 30 trade. 1 second, guys. Babe. Hey. Look at your crazy hair. Oh, look at your crazy hair. What are you talking about? Oh, you're going to put glasses on me? Thank you. Thank you. Let me put them on, guys. Right here. Okay. Thank you. Oh, we're going to trade with glasses on? Are you going to be a good trader? Can you say hi, YouTube people? Hi. This is going to be You're so silly. This is going to be the screenshot for the YouTube video. Should we take another trade or what? What should we do? Sell or buy? Buy or sell? What? Buy or sell? What are you talking about? Here's my new trading glasses, guys. Let's go, NASDAQ. Sell off, baby. 30. No entry, but if it sells off, it's all good. Goldie sell off. If we didn't catch gold, hopefully we'll catch the NASDAQ on the sell. New trading glasses. This is going to be my new look from now on. And yeah, Wayne, let's go. Come on. Look at on the 15-minute, the way overbought. On the 5-minute, we are now divergent. You see how it was earlier? Bing, bing, bing. 3 touches. 3 touches. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The third touch is divergent, and hopefully that's a sell-off. That's your daily wick. That's your 78.6 on the bigger fib. Everything lined up. I'm not excited about the momentum, but it is what it is. I'm also not excited I didn't get in this fucking US30 trade. Look at that. Ah! Hey, what are you doing down there? Watch your head. Square. Yeah, it's a square. Oh. Do you want to be a trader? Do you want to be a trader too? Huh? Oh, your mama's calling you. Countess? Hey, where are you going? She's gone. She's off. She's off to the races. Okay, guys, so we're basically Yeah, glasses are definitely the last confirmation. Those things are sick. I should get I'm not sure if I should get an adult size pair of pin glasses. Or I should just rock the kitty ones. Look at the fucking US30 trade. We missed it by like a pip. Hopefully you guys weren't. Hopefully you guys got in that trade. The only thing we can do now then is maybe we can play like a little fib from here. And maybe we can get like a little push and then a retrace and then go. That's actually not a bad idea because then, guys, if we do have that, your stop loss will just be like 10% of whatever fib this is going to be. So wherever this comes down to, perhaps this area right here, we can look for an entry there and look at that scalper, sniper entry, right? So matter of fact, let's just do that. Let's go to the broker. Let's go to, come on, NASDAQ, sell off, baby. Let's go to 30. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Let's go to the 1-minute chart. It doesn't matter. 1-minute chart. There's the break. But did the broke happen? Okay, so this is what I don't like right now. 30 on the 1-minute chart. Let's delete this. The break happened. Broke like structure. Change of character there. And then set a new high. So really, this is probably the higher low. And it's going to set one more. Okay? See how it's coming off now? Because it did not, once it broke this, it also set the new higher high. So that doesn't count anymore. So it hasn't changed momentum yet. And again, look at the 1 minute on the RSIs, way down in the tanks. So let's see if we could do this. Let's look for this third touch. And that, we got to be patient still. I don't think it's going to get there, to be honest with you. I think it's just going to go. Look at that. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. Come on, fucker, sell off. And the same thing with 30 on the 15-minute. I think that was it. Let's just delete all this jazz in here. If it comes back up and breaks this top, I don't. It's going to keep going, right? So we should have already been in the trade. There's no reason to chase it right now, but if we can come into like a smaller time frame, maybe we can catch this pullback, which is okay to do. Perhaps we should just enter a small position because I mean, let's go to the 2 hour, the 1 hour, and let's just see. Oh my God, look at that wick. I mean, should we enter now? I mean, that is confirmation, right? But what if we would have caught that wick right there? Oh my God. I don't want to chase it. My brain says don't chase it. We're in NASDAQ. NASDAQ selling off. But let's just go to US30 and we'll enter a small position. It looks to me like it's going to sell off. We've got a super late entry. We'll enter at 1%. If it wants to come back up and give us one more wick at 88.6 is where our other 1% is selling, is sitting. So we're at 1.5% on that one, and we're at a half, like 1.5%, and I don't know what the fucking percentage is, right? Just fucking 2 entries. Put it that way. I'm doing all this damn math on my percentages. Okay, so then we're going to stagger these TPs. So if on US30, let's go to US30. I just entered a position right now, a smaller position right there. My first TP is going to be right here. My stop loss is still up here. I have the second entry still at the 88.6, which is right here. And my stop loss is still right there. All right, so we're going to stagger these entries. My first TP on the first one is going to be here. I'm not going to set a TP on the second one. Actually, I take that back. I am going to, and I'm going to set it down here. So for that one, that TP is there. That second TP needs to be at 38,630. Let's do that now. 38,630, which is down there. Okay, so that's it, guys. So our job's done for today. We're in an entry now, and we have this as TP1 for this first entry. Our second entry is over here. If it wants to get up this high and give us another wick, which I kind of hope it doesn't, but if it does, it is what it is. Our NASDAQ, we're in, and we're hoping for this to reject. This is our TP1's the bottom, and of course our TP2 is going to be down here. And let me go to NASDAQ and make sure that my TPs are staggered, which they are not. Okay, TP1, bottom of the wicks on NASDAQ. TP2, let me come out to a higher time frame. TP2 is going to be that that kissing candle area right here where that red line is. All right, so TP2 is down here, right where that little candle is. Right there. Red line, candle, zone, the whole 9 yards, okay? So we got two. So our trading day is now done, guys. It's 8:47. We're in a 30 trade with another limit set above it. If it hits, it hits. It doesn't, it doesn't, right? NASDAQ trades, we got two positions. We got staggered TPs. Therefore, if you guys are having problems with your phone in the fucking app and all the stuff on Calm Capital and you don't have MT5, who cares? You just took two entries. You staggered your TPs. Your stop losses are set. You don't need to manage it. It just manages itself. The only thing you could do then is move to break even. And then on Goldie, we're in a trade on Goldie, and it was rejecting. And is it rejecting still? And nope, we're in just a little bit of drawdown, which is all good. Right? Again, this is a longer term trade, so it's going to do what it's going to do there. And since we're selling gold, we probably are in positive swaps as well, so it's all good. All right, guys, 8:47 in the morning. We found two entries. They're a little bit risky with the momentum considering. And considering it's Thursday, it might be going and wanting to retrace the whole weekly move, which it just did. But let's think that this daily candle will close below. Let's just, real quick before we go, let's just hide all this shit and let's just look at the dailies, all right? So, daily candle, daily. We would love to see this daily candle close down here, at least on Friday, the weekly candle. Close down in this area. So we're playing this top area on NASDAQ for a weekly close. What does a weekly candle look like? All right, the weekly candle, I'd love to see it come down into this area. Monthly candle, off to the moon, right? Off to the moon, which is crazy. But today's the last day of the month too. So perhaps we can get a little bit, closed down. At least, I don't know what 50% of this, let's do this. Let's see if we can maybe get like 50% of that candle. Look at, okay, guys, this is fucking ridiculous. Look at exactly where our monthly candle is and look at 50% of the monthly candle is right where our red line is. This shit just matches up. It continuously blows my mind how these lines and how these percentages continuously match up. Just over and over and over again. It never ceases to amaze me. I really like to see this thing close off. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Family time. We're in a percentage. NASDAQ, gold. We found our trades. We did what we had to do. Thank you guys for all 11 of y'all. Please subscribe. If you learned one thing, help me by subscribing to the channel. That's how we're going to build this bad boy. You guys have a good day. Appreciate y'all stepping by. If you have any questions, please put them in the chats. This is for training only. It's not financial advice.